Hello, I'm Jamila Musaiva, an international social etiquette consultant and author of Etiquette books. Etiquette, the least you need to know, and Afternoon Tea Etiquette. If you would like to order my books, please make sure to email me at info@jamilmusaiva.com. I'll link it down below in the description box as well. If you're a viewer on my channel, you're probably familiar already with my content. Here on my channel, I talk about etiquette, soft skills, self-development, and from time to time, I like to showcase my culture, my traditions, and my country. I am from Azerbaijan, and in today's video, I'll be showing you glimpses from a very beautiful land of Azerbaijan called Shusha, as well as Azerbaijani traditional breakfast. So before I show you the traditional Azerbaijani breakfast, I want to tell you a little bit about my trip to Shusha and why it was so special to me. I was invited by Show Me Azerbaijan project together with other 10 international bloggers. I am an Azerbaijani blogger, but since my audience is mainly international, I was invited to an international Shusha camp to show our beautiful Shusha to the rest of the world. As a part of Show Me Azerbaijan, our trip started from Baku, we headed to Fizuli, then we saw Akhtam, and we stopped for a night at Shusha. The reason this trip was so important for me, tremendously emotional for me, is because Shusha is a very special land of Azerbaijan. It has birthed a lot of the most artistic people in our culture that have given so much to our tradition, our culture, our music, our poetry, and it was a very culturally enriched land that has a very unique spirit about it. So going there was very special for me. But also because my Arabic teacher, who was more than just a teacher to me, she was my mentor. She passed away actually a couple of days before liberating Shusha, and she never got to visit Shusha. And she told me so much about the land, what it meant to her, how she was brought up there. So for me, this trip was especially important because it felt like being connected to her even more and paying tribute to the land that has given birth to such an individual as her, who has tremendously shaped me into who I am today. Through these videos, I want you to feel the majestic energy of this land that is also the pearl of Azerbaijan. And in fact, here I am standing in front of the house of Khurshudbanu Natavand, who was an Azerbaijani poetess. She was the daughter of the last Khanate ruler of Karabakh. And the legend has it, so we're told, that she even played chess with Alexander Dumas, the French writer, when he was visiting Karabakh. It's a very emotionally charged trip, and I really want you to feel that energy through these glimpses of videos that I'm sharing with you right now. In this video, you see me standing at Judurduzi, which is where the liberation of Shusha started from. When you look at the bottom of Judurduzi, it feels like there is no bottom at all. It feels infinite, and it was scary but also very empowering to be standing there and realizing that the whole process of liberation of the land really started from climbing up those mountains and entering the city. This was just a very endearing trip for me, and I really want you to feel what I was feeling at that moment. Once again, I want to thank all the organizers for allowing me to live my dream, to fulfill it, and take one thing off from my bucket list, visiting Shusha. And here I am now in Baku, in Old Town, in this beautiful restaurant called Gaynana, right in the Old Town city center. In front of me is a very traditional Azerbaijani breakfast. So here on my table, on my sufra, so to speak in Azerbaijani language, I have tandoor bread, which is very specially prepared in a special oven. I'll be showing you the process of preparation of this kind of bread. It's very yummy. It's so addictive that when you start eating a bit of it, you just can't stop. We have what we call pomidor yumurta, which is the mixture of tomatoes with eggs. This is the ultimate favorite food of all Azerbaijanis. We not only eat that for breakfast, but we also eat it at night, especially for after parties. You can expect to see pomidor yumurta being served early in the morning when the wedding party is over and everyone is hungry again. And this is a very typical Azerbaijani dish. Then we have this jam that's made of fig, also very specific to Azerbaijan because we have a lot of fig trees growing here. We have here fasali, that's a mixture of almost looks like croissant, but it's a flat bread. So the bread is made of butter and dough, and it's layered a lot of times, and there are a lot of spices inside of it. It's probably my most favorite thing for breakfast. Next here we have cucumber, tomatoes, and a bunch of different kind of greens. Purple one is called reyhan. They even make a special kind of drink out of it. It has the most amazing smell of freshness. It's very hard to say what it smells like, but it has a very calming effect, at least to me. And then there is a typical nana, which is like mint, and they added, and tarhun, they added in a lavash, and that's how they eat it usually. So the greens and the cucumber and tomatoes are usually served not just for breakfast, but also lunch and dinner. This set is pretty much found in every single meal in a very traditional Azerbaijani household. This is always on the table. Next, we have pretty much the essentials of everyone's breakfast table, and that is honey, which you can find in a lot of different cultures. Cheese. The cheese that I'm eating here right now in front of me is typical of Azerbaijan. One is less salted, another is more salted and has a much stronger smell, so everyone can decide whichever taste they want to go for. I personally like the one with strongest taste and that has a very sharp smell and is very salty. That's my favorite one. Then here we have nehra butter, which is again very specific for Azerbaijan. This butter is prepared by shaking milk in a special kind of a wooden box or like this gear that is being shaked for a really long time, and whatever comes on top of that milk is the butter, and that's nehra. Then we have this that is called kaymak. It's typical, well, I would say the alternative of it would be a cream, but it has a much richer taste than regular cream. And then we have my personal favorite shor, which is a mixture of cottage cheese and cream cheese. It's kind of a child of the two. I love for its texture. It's much more chunkier than a regular cream cheese, but it's salty and very smooth. And they added some seeds on top of it that really enhances the flavor of it. Next, in this little very cute ceramic bowl, we have gatır. Gatır is pretty like yogurt, but its closest that you can find alternative is a Greek yogurt. But even Greek yogurt doesn't taste like gatır. It has a very unique taste to it. And actually, when I was studying abroad, when I was doing my college in US and then in Belgium, I really craved gatır, and that's the one product that I couldn't find anywhere in the world. And again, as I said, the closest you can get is a Greek yogurt, but even that is not the same as gatır. And gatır for me is almost like any kind of sauce or any condiment addition to anything that I eat. I'll eat meat, I'll add gatır. I'll eat bread, I'll add gatır. I pretty much add it to every single meal that I have. And here we have another jam that is a white cherry jam. It doesn't have any pits inside, it's cleaned, so it's really good as an alternative to a jam or just to be eaten separately with a tea. Then we have lemon. We always have our tea with lemon, especially in the morning, a little bit of a vitamin D boost. Here I have my black tea in a pot that is brewed in the morning. And then the last thing I have here is kuku. Kuku is also very traditional to Azerbaijani breakfast, and not just breakfast. Again, kuku can be served for lunch, for even dinner sometimes, depending on the preference of the guest. Kuku is a mixture of all kinds of greens together with egg, and sometimes a little bit of flour is added, and it's cooked in a little pot like that so that it raises a little bit higher. It has the form and the shape of a pie, and the texture or the flavor of it is almost like a quiche and an omelette, so something between the two. And they have added a little bit of pomegranate seed because right now it's winter and fall season, so there are a lot of pomegranates here in Azerbaijan. So you can find a lot of pomegranates as being served with different kind of dishes as an omelette, but also with some meat or some rice. So I'll start my breakfast with pomidor yumurta, my ultimate favorite food. Pomidor yumurta, as I mentioned, it's just tomatoes with egg. It's cooked in a very specific way. We'll show you the cooking process as well. I usually have my pomidor yumurta with some really nice freshly made tender bread. It's so heavenly. You can hear the sound of it. And the way we usually eat pomidor yumurta, so if I'm out and about with people, meeting, perhaps some guests over, then I'll eat it with fork and knife like you eat anything else. You'll just collect it with the knife to your fork, and with the tines then I'll just eat it like this. And if I want to eat a little bit of bread, I'll take a little bit of bread, a bite size of bread, put it into my mouth, and continue eating with fork and knife. But this is something I would do if I'm, in a more formal setting. However, if I'm truly eating with my friends and my family, and I really want to truly enjoy this, I'll eat everything with my hand. I'll break a bit of tandoor with my fingers, and then I'll collect the pomidor yumurta on the bread and just a bite size and put it into my mouth and eat it like this. Sometimes it happens that when you're with your family and friends, you'd even eat it from here, so you wouldn't even transfer it to your own plate. Just everyone will go inside this and just share it in this specific plate that is prepared on, and there's a little fire underneath that keeps it warm. Of course, when I'm just having breakfast on my own, I don't have that much food, but this is just for purpose of showing the traditional Azerbaijani breakfast. Next, I'm going to have a little bit of cuckoo. I'll cut it like a pie into this little triangle from this plate, from this pan, and then use a fork on top and the knife underneath and transfer it to my plate. Again, I love to eat my cuckoo with a little bit of yogurt, gatır. So I'll add this on the side of a plate. I wouldn't put it on top of the cuckoo. This is true for everything, doesn't matter which culture you're in. If you want to add a little bit of sauce, ketchup, chili, pepper, whatever it is that you want to add, you would place the sauce on a separate part of the plate and then add it to whatever you're eating, to the meat, to the omelet that you're eating. So if I'm at the formal gathering and I have to eat cuckoo, I'll use fork and knife to eat it. I'll use the knife to apply a little bit of gatır on top of my cuckoo, like this, collect it on top of it, and then I'll transfer it to my mouth like this. But truth be told, you would not fully enjoy it if you eat it like this. So this kind of a breakfast food is best eaten with fingers only. So I'll take a little bit of bread. I will dip it into my gatır because I like, again, having it with a bit of yogurt. But those that don't can just skip this part. And then I'll take a little bit of cuckoo and just make a little, a sandwich like this and put it into my mouth. Next, I'm going to have something that I personally love, and that's, I already mentioned, is paseli. Because we don't have a separate bread plate at the table, we have bread served on this plate, and then we have tandoor served in this little basket. We don't have a specific plate designed to break the bread. So we break the bread on the plate that it's served and then transfer to our own plate. So I'll take a little bit of paseli, break it with my fingers, transfer it to my own plate. And it has a little bit of crumbs that I have to get rid of, like that, on my plate. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of everything onto my own plate. I'll start with honey. This is, of course, not just for me alone to be enjoyed. This is for everyone to be shared. So I have to be mindful of the cutlery I'm using to transfer things on. Because there's nothing here with Nehra butter, I have to use my own knife, but I take it from the edge and transfer it to my own plate. Once the knife has touched the butter, I don't place it back on the tablecloth. I'll take a little bit of shor, which is my favorite. And if there was anyone here helping me out, I would ask someone to pass me that. But since I'm filming alone, I have to reach out to things and I have to be mindful of my national costume. Then I have kaymak, which is a cream. and I'll take a little bit of each kind of cheese. This less salty one and this bigger, more salty one. A combination of two. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to enjoy my fasale with a little bit of butter, honey, and shore. I'll take my fasale, add some butter, add some honey. Again, the combination that you create is up to you. It can be very custom made depending on what you personally like and don't like. And I personally love shore, so I love to have it with everything. I'll just apply it on it. Place it back here, transfer to my right hand. The final meal that I'm going to enjoy for today is a combination of this fig jam. You can eat it with tea, or you can have it with some bread and cheese, or some shore, or some butter. It's really up to you. The combinations, you can get as creative and personalize it as much as you want. So I'll have some fasale, and I will have some cheese as well. I'll create a little sandwich for myself. I'll do a little bit of cheese and a little bit of fig. I'll collect it all on a piece of fasale, and I'll eat it all together like that. So now to finish up my meal, I'm going to have a really nice dark brewed black Azerbaijani tea. I'm going to add, again, this is brewed in a teapot. We rarely drink actually tea in a tea bag. We usually brew it like that. And I'll have my tea with lemon because early in the morning, a little bit of vitamin C. And actually in Azerbaijan, we drink tea not just after the meal. We can drink it before the meal. We can drink it many, many times throughout the day. In Azerbaijani, there's a saying, Chai nadir, sai nadir, which translates pretty much, the meaning is that you don't count the number of teacups that you're having throughout the day. So with tea, you can drink it as much as you like, and that's true for our culture. I will have my tea in the morning with a little bit of jam. Here we have the white cherry jam that's cleaned from its pits. So I'll add a little bit here in a little plate that we have specifically for the jam. Comes in a glass like this, and with it served with a little spoon like that. So I'll have one cherry at a time. I've actually done an entire video on Azerbaijani traditional tea ceremony, so if you're interested in learning more about Azerbaijani tea, make sure to check out my video. I hope you enjoyed watching this traditional Azerbaijani breakfast etiquette video. If you're interested in learning more about my culture, please make sure to check out my playlist that's called I Am From Azerbaijan. I share a lot of different kind of videos about my culture and my country. And of course, everyone is welcome to Azerbaijan. If you're ever here in Baku, make sure to check out this beautiful restaurant called Gaynana in Old Town ICYF-ERC. And I hope to see you in my next video. Cheers! Bye!